Awesome. All right. Welcome to Mindful Minutes with Musicians, the show where we aspire to inspire musicians and artists talking about mindfulness and what brings us through our practice to achieve greater goals. All right, today's guest is Devonne Williams, aka Salvage Music, a hip-hop artist, photographer, and filmmaker from Brooklyn, New York City, which is where we met, and I'm very thankful we did. This passionate and artistic individual who brings a unique voice to the world. You can find his music on Salvage Music channel, and you can also see his photography on his Instagram, Tumblr, and I'll add all the links to the description. So all the way from Brooklyn, New York City, let's have a huge welcome to Devonne Williams.
Woo! Hello, hello, hello. Woo!
That's in the crowd.
Cheerleaders.
Wild, yeah.
You know, in the background.
Yeah.
I must say,
the fire comes out. And like,
Triple H. You see that intro? Beautiful. It sounds so mellow. I feel like I'm Bob Ross. I'm about to paint something. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
This is cool.
Cool. So I guess the first question is just like, how have you been doing? Like, you know, the world's in a state, and there's a lot going on. And how have you been doing?
Yeah, like, you know, we've been a little bit chatting, but we've been saying like mostly I've been just like taking this year into to focus more on internally and pay attention and view what's happening outside, see what's everyone is, you know, how crazy is going, and pay attention to me and be like, look, that's not where I want to be. I don't want to be on that type of crazy level or anything, you know. This year I've been really on a journey of, well, creatively, emotionally, and just like stress a lot, but mostly just surviving and making use of that surviving state to create, you know, using all that stress or pain or anxiety or whatever, or just problems to put it into whatever I can, you know, dish out. And it's been working.
Nice.
It's been working. There's been slip ups, but
yeah.
You
find how do you find, like, what are those moments where you find you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna, like, you know,
my inspiration and my like,
find that inspiration, or where, like, those moments where you're like, oh, you know,
it's so weird because like I like how you named this entire thing Mindful Minutes, because like my whole inspiration is really Zen, bro. I'm really, even with the whole idea of being peaceful and angry or thinking that, like, all of those things are all one part of emotion. And like I really get all my thought processes from just the act of being, like just being, like paying attention or being focusing, the acceptance, you know what I mean? Like channeling whatever I have, even just the thought process from idea to manifestation is just, that's how I've been doing it. I think about it, I'm like, all right, cool, this is cool, maybe I could execute it. If I can't, I'm gonna write it down though, circle back to it or something. And then there's times where I would just not do anything. I would have not done anything. It would have been weeks on weeks. I would have just been laying there like, I really want to do something, I don't know how to execute it. And then there's one day that I just do, one day. So I feel like I've been learning patience with it. Patience.
Yeah. Do you think that there's like moments or anything that you do that helps get yourself into creative moments, or is it just like something that kind of flows and something that just kind of comes, and something that you need to just kind of harness? Or
I mean, if you got a talent, you got to work on it. You got to work on everything. And no one's just handed something. Even though you could be a Van Gogh or whatever, you still have to work on it and practice a little bit. And with me, I feel when I'm like losing touch with that, when I'm like, yo, I haven't done anything in a while, I need to express myself. And those times I kind of pace around. Like I'd go skate or something, you know what I mean? I'd go clear my mind in a physical way before I could like sit down and just bang something out. Or shit, I'd wake up at like 3 a.m. randomly out of my sleep. Gotta do this. Something. Yeah, it's like no in between. It's like the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, right now, right here. So it's very creepy because it's like, where does this come from? I'm sorry for the sound behind me.
That's all good. No worries.
Yeah.
All good. Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. Like I guess it's just like yeah, like as you said, like harnessing, like finding when those moments do come, just to kind of like
Just jump on them.
to take
Yeah.
take advantage of the moments and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like how you like I remember before the conversation we were talking about photography and like that
Yes.
being a new kind of
Like,
not a new outlet but like a newer appreciated find kind of thing.
yeah.
Like is that another way of like finding a
Yeah.
creativity level and stuff like that and
Yeah. That's
like
definitely it. And that's definitely, I appreciate, like, bro, I really appreciate having all these talents because I didn't even realize, like, I just do things, to be honest, bro. I've always been the one. I'm like the only kid. I have no one to tell me, oh, that's what you did. That's cool. I've just been
yeah
doing things, you know.
yeah
And only after I realized, oh, I can do this, I can do that. I've done this really good for a while, and the appreciation factor came in when other people started to notice. Like, to be
mm-hmm.
honest, I've always loved it. I've always
Yeah.
expressed myself in doing it, but not for appreciation. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I like this. This is good. This is a good photo. This is a good song. This is a good, you know. But when
Mm-hmm.
people started to be like, bro, I'm gonna hire you. I would like, and
Yeah.
it started to make me think. All right, check creativity. All right, check business. All right, cool. This could actually be another route, and
Yeah.
that's all it takes. That's
Mm-hmm.
all it took for me. It was a passion that was always there. It was a realization that it was an opportunity that could be blown on, and just the execution.
Yeah. That's it, man. I guess it's like it's yeah, it's just harnessing what you already enjoy and like realizing that that like we all have the talents, you know,
Yeah.
like our talents are within us. I think like they're already there, and a
Hmm.
lot of times we are doing these things, um,
Subconsciously.
yeah, subconsciously already. Like
Like, you
it's
say you hate interviewing, but you're so good at it.
yeah.
It's very like it's that natural thing for you to be like, hey, I got these questions for you, da da da, and it's like, yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. There's like a lot of like layers to things where you think, and you know, obviously we're always usually our worst self critics. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yes, yes,
you know what I
yes.
mean. That when you're like, oh, you know, it was all right, but like
All
it could
right.
have been better. I could have done this or could have, you know what I mean? When you're like,
Always a could have.
yeah, when you're actually like as you said, like doing something really cool, or you know what I mean, or doing something really
Hmm.
smoothly, or
You got to step out of your perspective and just view it as a whole. View it from
hmm
something that's not your emotion. Be like, whatever you just did. Be like, what would it look like, brand new, to know eyes that have never seen something, you know? And
yeah,
that perspective will make you think that, yo, I'm doing a lot of good things, no
yeah.
matter what.
No,
Yeah.
it's true, man. So since the beginning of all of this, like there's been a lot of things. It's not just the health state and the
The world and
economic
shit.
state or the political state or the you know what I mean. There's levels. There's a lot. How have you been dealing with all of that? Like how have you been dealing with that? And like there's
Oh
a lot of
man,
like really wild aspects and things that have been happening. Like so how have
I'm
you
just
yourself been dealing with that? Like
me as myself, and I'll start off strong, bro. To be honest, as a young black male in America, ain't nothing is more like evidence than the racism that we face daily in
it's
this damn country.
it's really
It's
come out. Yeah.
it's absolutely absurd how it's just like blatant, disrespectful, and no one gives a fuck. But
Yeah.
beyond that, since it's just all that this country basically knows, I'm fighting through it as every other person, every other colored person, every other person who's like seeing the true colors of what, I mean, we know what this place is, but just seeing it over and over. This
Mm-hmm.
election says a lot, man. You just look at the map and you see the whole middle of the state red, red, red,
Yeah.
red. That
Yeah.
doesn't say like, oh, we support Trump. You're supporting his words, and he said a
Mm-hmm.
lot of words A
Oh
lot
man.
of words. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, red or blue, it doesn't matter. But like, if you say some very detrimental words to your country and people like that, why
Yeah.
would you support him? But it tells me
Exactly.
a lot about the type of people here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
There's yeah. It's weird when you've been submersed in it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you
it's
wonder if some people are just way too close to it that they
they
can't
can't
actually
see the
see
entirety
what actually
exactly.
is going on. And yeah, it's crazy. It's wild. It's wild. Like right now, there's and then like you think stuff like the pandemic is almost we were talking about this earlier. It's like secondary.
It's really
The
secondary
climate
in nature right
events.
now because the human psyche has gone so crazy. The fact of electing Trump has gone and pushed things so far to the world of absurd that even the most unabsurd, like something that's crazy, is normal.
Yeah,
You feel me?
yeah,
Like this is the type of shift we're going through. And as we're speaking right now, like I just saw Joe Biden actually won, but what difference does it make when we're already fucked?
yeah, yeah. No, it's there's a lot of I feel like the like it, America was definitely pushed back a whole lot of years
Just now.
with all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we were
And I
just
feel
pushed back
like
a lot.
everyone's gotta to work that much harder just to kind of like just to get back to you know
Just
a
a good
normal,
place.
whatever a
Yeah,
normal
just a
is
good
anyway,
place.
like but
And that's insane that you say that because like you're from Canada, like you're up there, you're on cross the borders. I have so many friends like out of the states in Europe, in Canada, South America, Grenada and stuff like South Korean,
mhm,
and their perspective of like everything, like things are bad everywhere, but when they're outside looking in and they're just like, yo, what are you guys okay? Like
yeah,
they're genuinely like, yo, is everything like how is this possible? And when you're here, you realize how it's possible because there's millions others with this convoluted psyche that make them believe that things are what they are, even when it's this close to their face. And
oh yeah,
that's yeah,
yeah,
like
it's wild, man. It's kind of yeah,
it's kind of something we gotta deal with. Some things
yeah.
we're gonna talk about in 40, 20, 30 years. Some things we're gonna really see in books.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're
Yes,
definitely in a historical moment for sure.
it's
And
different. I've never expected that.
yeah. Oh no, yeah. I I
Yeah.
I can't say I ever expected anything close to what's
No,
going
not
on.
close to this.
Like we're in Canada dealing with the pandemic and dealing with the lockdowns and that kind of stuff. And
The
that's
governor,
even
your president loves you.
well, he's an interesting character as well, uh, but like even the like the emotion of dealing with that and like you know what I mean. That's a lot. You know what I mean. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people are dealing with a lot of like job loss and um
Stress,
uh
crime rates, the domestic abuse has been going up incredibly up over here, like
it's yeah
just insanity. So then to couple it with the fact that we're like not even talking about how like there was protests at the beginning of the year. We're not even talking about how the mayhem, how every city basically lost most of their shops. We're not talking during a pandemic. So it's like you saying that we got set back, it doesn't even explain how setback we really just got pushed. It's
yeah
the article. I don't mean to cut. Keep going, but I saw
no
one article by Bloomberg, and the headline was "Millennials must face a loss of 10 years of stocks because of this year." And
wow
really think about it, 10 years of stock would have been 2010 starting. That would have been like the early. So like if you started a company in 2000s,
yeah
boom in 2010, you're doing pretty well. And if you've invested in 2010 to now, you're damn near well. That's your college fund. That's probably your insurance. That's your health insurance. There's 20-year-olds walking around. You know what I mean? Their
Yeah.
parents probably put their money in money mutuals and stuff. And this what happened here wiped out everyone's everything. 401ks, this and that. Like, whoa, bro.
Hmm.
People got to restart on a
Yeah.
whole different level.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Let's go to
it's
Sweden.
yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm down. Um, it's yeah, it's wild because like it's kind of beyond money loss too. Like there's like there's as you said, there's the realization of what you see. You know, how can I put this? Like the way people are viewing this all. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that like you know, like there's a pandemic going on, there's you know what I mean, there's scientists telling you this is happening, and there's people like, nah, this isn't real, and you're like,
Yeah, like
I understand, you know what I mean, that you know, governments are hard to sometimes listen to and all the rest of that, and you know, sometimes we're not sure what the real truth is and all the rest, but you know,
people are
it's
dying,
hard
bro.
to, yeah, it's hard to like
That's like the thing. That's like the one main thing about this. People are dying
yeah,
left, right, center. So it don't matter what color you claim, no matter what you
yeah,
think you are, you're dying.
yeah,
So that's where the human nature, where the one thing we failed to actually accomplish with this whole UN thing, the one where all that shit we failed, NATO, all that, because we still can't accept our own faults.
yeah,
Like, bro, a pandemic should mean everyone's together, no matter what the fuck's happening. It could be
yeah,
a election, and nothing should matter more than the safety of the people.
yeah.
But what really mattered was the booming economy. And when
Mm-hmm.
we failed, and when the economy dropped in March, all that matters was getting it back to the top.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's the focus, right? It was the
It's just
focus
the
was kind of,
focus.
yeah, like a misguided focus. um, I'm gonna bring it back to these times, and have you found during all this that you are more have you been more creative or less creative? I know you were talking about like like when it comes, you just
Mm.
pick it up, but like have you found overall that you've been more creative, or has it been more challenging to be creative?
It's been very challenging to be creative, but with those challenges, it came with more insights of how I can be creative. That's what I was like really explaining. Like I
Hmm.
had to force myself into being a different type of creative than I would have normally been, which has
Hmm.
like expanded my ideals of how I do create, on how I do
Hmm.
make things happen, and how I view my art or my just my products, you know. So
Yeah.
like I if without all this nonsense happening, I would have never thought about like the idea. I have a idea of a film I wanted to make where it has to entail with struggles of Corona and struggles of like artists during all this, and like I really need to script it out and all that. But like the thoughts I've had and the executions I've been doing has only came because I've been back against the wall. All right, gotta think about another way, another way, another way, and that's the greatest thing that's happened. You know,
Yeah.
so I've been more creative, but different. You know, like different from
Yeah.
what I'm used to.
Yeah, not your like, because I know you were kind of focused on music, you said, and
Yeah,
I
and
guess now it's branched out, you know,
yeah,
like.
it's branched out into creating like music for film, music for
Hmm.
TV shows, music for all these things. Music's like short films, ideas of music for people. Like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because I'm not just a artist. I'm not just a rapper. I'm not just a filmer. I'm not just a photographer, a cinematographer. I'm this one entity who has an idea. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
You know?
it's like an artist, not one thing. It's like you're yeah.
Yeah.
Key
So
yeah, opening up the possibilities also opens up to different ideas and different freedoms and different
yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
people only knew Da Vinci for his paintings and stuff, but They didn't realize that the man literally was a scientist. The man was an astrologer. The man was a genius,
Yeah.
and he excelled in all of those places. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that kind of showed me, like, I thought to myself, like, what made this different from that? What is the opportunities? I can do 100 things that I can possibly do. Elon Musk is today's obvious example of you either need a clone or you can do it.
Yeah. Like it's putting like put your mind to it, right? Like if you can
Just go.
think it, then you can do it, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so do you feel that mindfulness is and like being creative are the same things, or do you find that mindfulness and like this creativity are kind of two different entities?
Hmm. I like how you word that question. Uh, really, like, I really try to practice a lot of Zen. I really practice a lot of Zen, just presence, really. Just like I was explaining about the idea of being, the I am statement of just consciously being aware of being, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So mindfulness is technically, like, all the time being aware of your thoughts. And the creativity it goes hand in hand, because if I'm aware of my thoughts, I'm going to be aware of if I'm going to be creative or not.
Yeah.
And that has been a really, like, I slip, sometimes I'll forget about something or whatever, but my whole thing has been, like, I've really tried to keep the center of meditation and center of thought in
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness. Like, I
Yeah.
want to be alert of what I'm saying. I want to be alert of what I'm thinking. I want to, so I don't know how you was wording mindfulness, but, like,
Yeah.
they go hand in hand for me. Like,
Yeah.
I must be attentive to my mind to know what creativity comes out, because I wouldn't be able. I could think about it subconsciously, yeah, but I wouldn't do it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
would
true.
have to. Yeah.
Yeah, even like even like putting yourself in a mindful state is then kind of leading into or kind of sparking creativity. I would say,
Because you're aware of being aware, and
yeah.
blah blah blah, and
It's funny because my next question was gonna be, what is mindfulness to you? But that kind of like all leads in, like that's
yeah, I kind of I forgot to. You
you
might have
kind
to
of
edit it in.
like you kind of like answered that one, like it's um I
It's
like
a
that,
way of
yeah.
being, bro. That's how
Yeah.
I feel like. It's a way of being. Mindfulness is a way of being.
Yeah.
With this whole consciousness of being human and shit, this the one thing you could be is aware of yourself. If anything, if you could ever do anything, is just be aware of what's going in and out of your head and your mouth. And
Hmm.
shit, if you could control that, that's mindfulness, bro. That's
Yeah.
like yeah, it's yoga 101.
I love it. I love it. It's funny. There's the 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 old saying of like you got the one mouth and two ears, right?
Hmm.
So you gotta listen twice as much
Much
as
as you speak.
you
Yep.
usually speak. Yeah. And I feel, yeah, I find that that's kind of like one of those
I
things that it's like being conscious and being aware and being listening
never
and
heard the one where they said, you got three eyes. You can see a lot more.
right. Amazing.
Oh man.
Cool. I'm gonna pop up here to this outro music, and I'm gonna wrap up. But is there anything like last thing you want to add? Um,
No, I was
yeah,
It's gonna be a little after. I'm gonna ask you quick questions, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I thank you for having me. Thank you for just picking my brain, asking me what's up. We met a couple times, and I appreciate me and you. You're a very cool guy. Um,
thank you.
like, I just like meeting people who are interested in, like, getting a goal out there. Like, if it's just to interview and because I like how this person talks or I like what this person
Hmm.
does, I like that. I like people who just get up and do something. Just
It's
do it. Don't
yeah,
talk about it. Just do it. And I like that.
it's
So
yeah, it's also a chance to like as I was saying, to like pick people's brains to figure out how how people are doing and how things are, how everyone's kind of dealing with the all the situations that are going on. You know what I mean? I just find and I'm so thankful that we got to meet when I was in New York, and that we kind of like,
Hmm.
hit it off, and that it was like it created a friendship, which is nice, and that's kind of like the nice parts about those daily meetings with
Hmm. Hmm.
strangers or with whoever, you know what I mean? Because you never know where things are gonna go, or where how things are gonna like lead into other things. And
Yeah, man. It was like 4 years ago or 3 years ago at Mimi's. Met you
yeah,
once. I was like, hey,
yeah.
how you doing? You know? And
Oh
then
man,
just then.
I love Mimi's. That was such a good place, man. That was, yeah,
No, it's a really calm place. I'm not gonna lie. It's a really, really chill place.
yeah.
I was
Oh
spending
man.
hours in there just standing there daydreaming, like, yo, so I could just chill and meditate in here
Yeah.
because it's so calming.
Oh, it's a nice place, and I loved my time in Brooklyn and in New
Mm.
York, and like most of the people I met were super cool. So I appreciate all of that too. So yeah,
My
man.
birthday's coming up in January. I was trying to figure out. I wanted to go to one of those mountains over. I saw a lot like this
Ooh,
out kind of mountain range over in Alberta, but my friend was
ooh,
telling me that Alberta was very redneck. So I
yes,
wasn't.
yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
yes, yes, yes,
Is it really?
yeah. We'll talk about this more after the show.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
All right, I'm gonna hit this outro, but yeah, perfect.
All right, man.
Thank you for tuning in to Mindful Minutes with Musicians. For more information about my guest and the topics of the show, go to blackmoremedia.ca and connect with us on all social media platforms. Welcome to the MMWM family, where we aspire to inspire. See you soon. Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate this. I just, yeah, this is, if you haven't yet, you gotta follow and like and subscribe and do all that, and then go to Salvage Music on YouTube, and
Or D3VONN3 on Instagram. Devon.
right, that you go there, like, follow, all those things. Yeah, definitely check out all the social media. I'll post that all with the video. um yeah, thank you again so much for joining me, and we'll definitely gotta do this again soon.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Awesome.